Mob Games have just released a brand new Chapter 4 trailer. Today we're going to be talking about it a little bit and breaking down what we see and do an analysis of it. Hello everyone, my name is It's Just George. Thank you for clicking the video. If you like Poppy Playtime content, make sure you hit subscribe. With Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 around the corner, I'm going to be covering it all the way up to its launch and then after as well. So again, if you like your Poppy Playtime content, make sure you hit subscribe. But anyway, with that being said, let's actually get into the video. No more waffling. Let's talk about what we're seeing. So the first few 10 seconds are basically a recap of Chapter 3, and I say this because if you listen to the audio quite closely, you can hear the exchange between Poppy and Kissy at the end of Chapter 3, where we didn't know what happened to Kissy, and Poppy was screaming out for her. And also we get the visual representation that we're going deeper underground. And then, of course, we get a good few camera shots of some sort of loading area. Now, I don't know per se what it is exactly, but I assume it is. I mean, it's got forklifts, big crates, and, of course, they're all marked with the similar symbol that we see later on. Also, we've got the entrance in the top right from the elevator's perspective that we can see. It needs to be activated with two hands, green and blue. And also the emphasis on the gas running through the facility. Now, again, we've seen this gas throughout literally Chapter 2 and 3. And it's very interesting. This is going to get more apparent later that this gas is needed down here. And I think we'll find out why. One also interesting thing is, of course, the creature. Now, the creature looks to be a very stalkery behavior. And of course, it's sort of, we get a POV of the creature stalking the player, which again is quite an interesting detail because, of course, we see the player as a player, not what looks to be one of the toy mannequins or the example default characters. We actually look to be something similar from how they presented themselves in Project Playtime. So we know that we are human, we are a staff worker. So that's very interesting. And then, of course, we get more highlights of the cave system and where the gas is leading to. Again, the gas is a massive highlight here. And, of course, we know from the shadows and the response of the creature that, again, it's stalking the player. The real horror is highlighted here, though, with the absolute mountains of dead critters and creatures within Poppy Playtime. And, of course, we know now how they've met their demise. They've basically been eaten, as it's been practically told to us since Chapter 1. We've got a plethora of characters, and again, it looks like nobody is safe down here. But what's really kind of daunting is just the sheer scale of it all. I mean, if we look at the player and walking off in the distance with a torch, these mountains are vast and high. It really, really emphasizes that horror. And then we get another shot of the gas line following through, and then also an emphasis on a symbol that we've seen from the start. I believe this is going to be like the introduction to like the containment area, if you will, prison, if you will. And then we also get to see the creature is also still stalking the player all the way from the elevator to this reception or lobby. And then, of course, the real horror is shown to us, the absolute vastness of this facility, this containment, this prison. We see floors upon floors feeding with this gas, and I imagine this gas is the only way to subdue these prisoners. And now I believe we know who they're holding on to. All these creatures that they're trying to keep subdued down here, locked away, failed experiments from someone like Harley Sawyer, just for them to highlight one has broke free. Now, of course, I think it would be safe to say that the cell we're looking at is the creature that's following the player. Because, of course, we can see that there sort of has been a struggle inside the cell, and there's a bit of metal pulled away from the side of the walls. Perhaps that's how this creature has escaped. And something super chilling, and I don't know what it is, I felt like this was just more effective than anything in this trailer, but we see a catnap approaching, inspecting what's going on, the sounds that it's hearing, the player's shadow. As it comes into frame, we just see a paw or a hand come down on the catnap and just squishing it like it's absolutely nothing. It almost looks like it's kind of like a tiger's paw or something similar. I don't know if this is going to be the creature that we've been shown recently, the one that's stalking the player. Of course, I imagine the indication is that. I actually think this might be a different creature that we're seeing right here. And then, of course, we see a security camera functioning and working. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say instantly, we are seeing experiment 1006 observe the player. as he enters down deeper. Again, I think this is the watchful eye, if you will, that's keeping an eye on us all the way through. The prototype obviously wants us for something specific. It's something really daunting, of course. The tension's building in the video. We can see there's a lobby, a reception, and of course we've highlighted that symbol, the boxes. It's almost like it's a symbol for confinement, if you ask me. And then we've also, of course, got the TV with an eye showed to the player like it's watching us, and similar to how the security cameras are working, like I said earlier, it's like a watchful eye as we approach this area. Someone's keeping an eye on us. But more disgusting is the creature above it, and of course it looks like a critter that has had its eyes ripped out and of course been eaten, really emphasizing the struggle that is down here. Now I understand why there's so many toys on the surface level or closer to that in Playtime Co. But then, of course, the eye turns into a red eye. Now, for me personally, I feel like that is because you are a target for whoever is watching you. They need you. It's almost like a predator staring at you in the face. And of course, we'll learn that's kind of true. And then, of course, we get the big reveal. Basically, a yarn head. And of course, as we know, we are pretty sure this is Yarnaby. Yarnaby looks to be quite innocent at first, but of course he is, as we know, the stalker that's been following the player since the start. And there's something about the appearance of Yarnaby that just absolutely throws me off. Almost like there are another set of eyes inside his eyes. We have a very similar case to Huggy in the first chapter. I feel like they're actually leaning into this time. They're actually hiding something behind them. So it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. But of course, the big kicker is actually the moment where Yarnaby's mouth actually opens. So his actual idle mouth is fake, of course. It was just stitched in by the look of it as part of the design. But somewhere along the line, Yarnaby, experiment 1166, splits his mouth across and attacks anything. I imagine. Something interesting to note, though, is that all of the creatures so far have quite a similar design of the mouth. Now, I know it seems a bit weird, but they all have the, of course, outer teeth that drags whoever in, the victim, and then they have a way to digest with the second pair of teeth and bring that into the stomach. And it's quite an interesting detail considering that it's been very consistent. So Harley, I think, is a man of consistent work, which I think we can all appreciate. And then, of course, we get the confirmation that Chapter 4 is still planned for January, which is very good news. But with that being said, what did I miss? Did I miss any of the details? Is there anything you want to point out in the comments below? Please do. Anything that obviously I've missed, I will pin. And of course, I'll share with the community. But with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, make sure you hit subscribe as it really helps the channel and myself. And with that being said, have a lovely morning, day or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next Poppy Playtime Theory video. Bye!